I keep this stapler right there on my shelf for a reason. You see, this stapler represents risk, and it represents taking a leap. And why that's so important, why you can't achieve big things, why you can't change your own world, let alone the world. You can't do that without risk, without taking a dive off the deep end and going for it. And I got this stapler on the last day of my job, my day job, that was a great job that most anyone would die for, and I was so fortunate to have. And I quit that job to chase a dream, to chase a passion, to try to change my world, to try to change the world. And this right here, it reminds me of that every day, that you got to go for it. And once again, I'm going for it, taking a leap. I want to talk to you now about this next big leap I'm taking. I've got some big news, some big updates to share. And this is in regards to something I did talk about on the podcast earlier this spring, but now some things are actually happening from that. So I got to give you guys a little bit of a tiny history lesson. Some of you maybe have already heard this story, so I will keep it short. But way back in the summer of 2008, I started Wired to Hunt, this thing that you're checking out right now. I started Wired to Hunt as a way to scratch the itch that I had, because I was in New York City for this internship and I couldn't get outdoors doing the things I loved. I loved hunting, I loved fishing, I loved being outside in big wild places, and I couldn't do any of those things at the moment. So I thought, well, why not start a blog and talk about those things? So I did it. Started Wired to Hunt, and I couldn't imagine at the time what that was going to lead to, because what it led to was the following year deciding to take this little idea for a website and try to make it into a career someday, try to make it into a way of life. So from that point on, I worked and I worked and I worked for year after year after year, trying to build Wired to Hunt into something that really helped people, into something that really entertained people, into something that maybe inspired people, something that eventually, maybe if I did a good enough job of it, I could, make a living from it. And in the fall of 2013, that's what I did. I quit my day job, got this stapler, and went full-time with Wired to Hunt. And in the subsequent years, I was just so fortunate because of people like you who supported what I was doing with Wired to Hunt. I was fortunate enough to be able to do that, to be able to make my career talking about hunting and whitetails and showing what I was doing and sharing my experiences, sharing my lessons learned, the mistakes I made along the way, talking about these incredible resources we have, these opportunities we have as outdoors people in America. And that said, though, over the years, I started to wonder, what's next for me? What's next for Wired to Hunt? For such a long time, it was just, build Wired to Hunt into something that was fun, into something that helped people, into something that maybe someday I could make a living from. And then I was able to do that, but as I continued moving down that path, it was, how do I build this into something that makes an impact, that can actually influence the future of our hunting and fishing community? And that's where I am today, and that's why I'm excited about what's been happening this year, is because I think that now I'm in a position to be able to do that. And as some of you know, this is because Steve Rinella came to me last fall with this idea. He said, hey, I'm building a new company. I'm taking what I've done with MeatEater, and we're going to transform this into something much more all-encompassing, much larger, much bigger than just me, Steve. And he asked me if I wanted to be a part of that. And me and Steve started talking. We talked a whole lot last fall about what the idea was, about what he wanted to build with this new company, about what we might be able to achieve together and with some other like-minded people. And I was inspired, because what Steve wanted to do is what I've wanted to do, which is leave a long-term positive change, leave a legacy, make this better than it was before, that being the hunting and fishing community, that being our wildlife and our wild places. How could we develop a new company, a new content platform, a new way to talk to the hunting and fishing community? How could we do that in such a way that could actually make all of this more positive? How could we inspire people, inform people, entertain people, help people, but also be able to stand up together for the wildlife and wild places that we love so much, that we hold sacred? This idea, this was what really drove me to want to be a part of what Steve's got going on here with what we're calling for now MeatEater Inc. This is the new company that Steve's building, that I'm a part of, that a handful of other folks are a part of, and that's kind of being announced today. There's a new website launching today. We've got a new MeatEater website, which is, from here on out, this is one of the big changes coming up for all of us, is that you'll be finding new Wired Hunt content there on the MeatEater.com website. My new vlogs, my new podcasts, my new articles, and a lot of different projects that we're going to be working on here in the coming weeks and months. Those are going to be found on the MeatEater.com. We're going to have new Wired Hunt merchandise there. We're going to continue the Wired Hunt podcast and doing all sorts of new things there with new resources, new team members. The video side of things is going to continue to grow and flourish there. I'm excited because I think by having a team finally around me, not just me solo, but actually people that we can work together, we can brainstorm together, we can spitball off of each other, we can really develop content that's above and beyond anything I've been able to do up to this point. So that's what's happening now. I am going to be developing all these new things on the MeatEater website. You can find it there. You can find Steve's podcast. You can find content from other folks too, not just Steve's, not just mine, but some of our new contributors like April Vokey, Eduardo Garcia, Ben O'Brien, and a whole slew of other folks. We're all going to be there on the MeatEater with many more to come soon. So lots more to come on that soon. And speaking of exciting things coming soon, as of today, the new season of the MeatEater TV show has launched on Netflix. It's a Netflix original, and for those who've been following along with my story over the last year, I went on a caribou hunt last year with Steve. It has become 2 episodes in the new season, which is now available to watch. So check out those 2 episodes, watch me get that caribou. It was one of the most, if not the most, incredible hunt of my entire life. You can check it out now on the show. It's pretty exciting. All of this is really exciting, and big things to come. So I thank you. Thanks for your support. Thank you for following along. Hopefully we're to put something together here that can make a positive difference, that you guys are also going to enjoy, and which can make sure that the future of the hunting and fishing community and that our wildlife and wild places are in good hands for many generations to come.